Well, it is the iReady Math Unit 2 review that I wanted to do for about a few days. So, boys and girls, we're going to work on reviewing very quickly what might be coming on the test for Unit 2 on Kindergarten Math iReady. So, there are three things that we're going to focus on. One is numbers from 0 to 5, and also we're going to focus on three-dimensional shapes and decide which one is heavy and which one is light. So let's begin with the most easiest part, which is numbers 0 through 5. So this has been revamped by the iReady company that does the curriculum, which is a very, very good curriculum. And I'm going to use the foundation board because I don't have my paddle board because I think I left it in the school and I don't have one here. So I'm going to use this one. And I'm not going to use the other side because the other side is for something else that might get you a little confused. So let's begin with the numbers 0 through 5. So 0 is an oval and it goes like this. And I say it's an oval because the letter O is in the shape of a circle. This is 0. 0 is an oval shape number. Then we have 1. Then we have 2. Then comes 3. I'm going to erase it because now I don't have space. Okay. And I hope you are practicing this on your board because this is very important. Then we have 4 and 5. Okay? So those are the numbers that you should be learning and reviewing at home. But let's take 5. For example, you were learning about dots. And usually the dots were all the way on the bottom of your card. So, that is a representation of 5. And that's very important because this is what you know how to make, and this is what you're learning, which is the cardinal number. And it's considered something that's very hard to remember because some of you write it backwards or really you don't know how to write the number. So this is very important. The other thing is you need to make a set. And a set can be what we used to do during the beginning of the lessons of this unit. And you would have a number and then you would draw 5 dots, or you would make 5 stars, or you would make 5 tally marks. Look, tally marks are like this, and once you get to 5 you cross them over. Another way to do it is also creating circles, which is what I taught you to do, because that is the most easiest way to illustrate a number. So, you guys became very good and expert at this, and that will help you on the test. Now, the second part of the test is what we call three-dimensional shapes. We talked about the sphere, which I have right here in the representation of a marble. It's a solid shape. It's a marble made out of glass. And this is not a circle. This is a sphere. Okay? We also talked about the cube. And the cube has lots and lots and lots of squares all together, and it's solid. Another one that we learned was the cylinder. And we said that the top has to have a circle and the bottom has to have a circle. So we talked about what rolls, right? And we said that these two, the sphere and the cylinder, they roll. But we also talked about stack. And stack means that you can put them one on top of the other, like when you were in pre-K and you were playing with your blocks in the block area. So a cylinder can also stack. It can also slide, like the cube can stack and also can slide. All right, so we talked about that, and we were trying to use these as much as we could with the pyramid, the cone, which is something I don't have here as an example for you, and the rectangular prism. So now I'm going to introduce to you something that you already know in the class, but nobody has seen this on a video on YouTube. So, kindergarten, here we go. I'm going to introduce to you my pan balance. So, here is a pan balance, right? And I'm going to push the camera back so that you can see. It consists of two different parts. One of them is a triangle, okay? And the other is like a rectangle long, but it has two circles where you're going to place it on top of the triangle, and you see that it stays almost together. Forget about the noise on the fan on the video. It's the fan that's blowing. And if the fan wasn't blowing, this would stay still. So we are going to weigh something that is heavy. So I'm going to put the cube. But if you notice, the cube immediately went down. When a figure, an object goes down, that means it's heavy, and the one that's over here is light because it's up. But if I put a cylinder, look what happens. They're both the same weight. Now let's change it to the sphere. Okay, I'm going to put a sphere here, and look what happened. The sphere, because it's made out of glass and it's a marble, it's heavier than the cube made out of foam. So let's say the marble is heavier than the cube. I can also say that the marble is heavier than the cylinder. But Mr. Rodriguez, we didn't use that in class. No, we didn't. I'm going to use now my little friend, right, the fisherman that we had in a previous video. And now I'm going to put him on the pan balance, and look what happened. The marble is now lighter because he's up on the top of the balance, whereas my little friend, the fisherman, is on the bottom. So let's say the fisherman is heavier than the marble. The fisherman is heavier than the marble. Now I'm going to change it to this piece of wood that we used in the classroom too. And look what happened. That piece of wood, which is made in a cylinder shape, is heavier than the marble. Mind you, the marble is made out of glass, and this is heavy. But a wooden piece tends to be much more heavier than the marble that's here. Now, let's say, like I know some of you would say, well, let's put the fisherman on the other side with the marble. Well, I'm going to do that. Look. Now it changed, because now the fisherman and the marble are heavier than the piece of wood. But I'm going to put my little friend, also from a previous video, and I'm going to put him here. Watch what happens. Oh, now you get it, right? Even though the fisherman and the marble were heavier than the wood, the moment I put this little character here, he made this side heavier for them. Well, now that we did all the three-dimensional shapes that we're going to focus on, I brought some of my favorite bears, not from the classroom, but that are mine. These are my own bears. You can find bears on Amazon, and you can also buy a pan balance, right? Like this, or even better than this, also on Amazon. So, I'm going to use bears in different colors, and we're going to try to weigh to see what happens. So here goes one bear, here goes the other bear. I'm going to put now 2 bears on this side. So 2 bears is heavier than 1 bear. Well, I'm going to put another bear over here. Let me put another bear over here. Now look what happened. 3 bears is heavier than 2 bears. No, Mr. Rodriguez, let's do it another way. Well, let me finish putting this bear here, because that was what I wanted to do to keep the balance the same. Now I'm just going to put the marble on one side. And look what happened. The marble shifted all the weight to this side. Oh, wait. Let's do the cylinder. Okay, I'll put the cylinder. Nothing's done. I'll put the cube. Oops. It looks like it's balancing, but it's still showing that the marble and the 3 bears over here are heavier. Oh, shucks. Let's do this. You guys like to do this. Look what happened when I put the fisherman. He fell right on the opposite side the weight. All right, let's put the wood. No chance. Well, let's put this character now. And guess what happened? It shifted. So this is heavier. This is lighter. This is what you have at home. You have toys. You have toys. You might have little blocks like these. You might have them in wood. And you're going to say, oh, Mr. Rodriguez, but where do I get these things? Well, you get them on Amazon, most of them. If you don't get them on Amazon, you can go to the 99-cent store or to Dollar Tree. And you can actually really do a good job by getting this balance. Because this is not the only lesson that you're going to be doing while you're going to school. Sometimes you're going to be doing lessons that have to do with science or have to do with math in another grade. So this is an investment, not something that you're going to put to the side at the end of the year in kindergarten. Now, I made it as quick as possible, this video, for you to review and learn and kind of focus on what you can do at home and really prepare yourself for that test on Friday. Remember what I always say on every single video. Smart is not something you are. Smart is something you get.